behind him, but it is Van Dorn and De Vries, the two Mercedes, who are leading the way. That's Nick Cassidy. He was in 8th place, and he's now caught the back of Gunter. He was quicker than Gunter in the qualifyings, but made that mistake at the start, him and Robin Price, and they dropped back down the field. Mercedes 1-2, Dennis 3rd, and they're now really starting to gap Lotterer, who's a little bit alone in that 4th position. But the lead Mercedes there is Stoffel Van Dorn. The second in the queue is Nick De Vries, and then you've got the red and white Andretti of Jake Dennis just lurking behind them.
I've got to say that Lucas de Grassi is really pulling away. Actually, right at that point, Sanford's got him back up. But in that first part of the lap, Lucas de Grassi was able to gap the Jaguar of Sanford.
Happy so far. Foxtrot India 08 Papa.
Stoffel Van Dorn saying he's happy so far, and then reading out some code from his car to let the team know how much energy he has remaining as they come down in towards the final corner at 21. It's going to be interesting. Early on, I'm sure the Mercedes are happy to sort of work with each other and try and keep that man's car, the Andretti, behind. But when you get towards the end of the race, I mean, how early in the season do you have to try and assert your authority within a team?
I think today would be a good point to do that. I mean, really, you've got to do that. And at what point in the race, if there are, or not team order just now, but if they're holding station, at what point does battle commence? Because both these guys, they're here to win the World Championship. Stoffel Van Dorn felt he was really good last year, had terrible luck, and we really mean luck, and not to get the results that he could have challenged his teammate Nick De Vries for the championship. So I think battle will commence towards the end of this race. But you watch the different attitudes. You see Antonio Felix da Costa getting out of the car, not happy.
Suspension to someone in the garage. It certainly looked that way, didn't it, when he pulled into the pit lane. Up the hill they come again. Van Dorn ahead of De Vries, and then the lock up from Dennis. Gets it stopped. That puff of white smoke as the right front wheel stops turning. And Andre Lotterer has activated his attack mode then. So from 4th place, Lotterer has activated his attack mode. That'll give him an extra 30 kilowatts of power for the next 3 minutes.
He's got to use that, because that's going to take energy out of the battery as well. You don't just get it for free, it's going to take energy. So he's got to use that to close the gap on the cars ahead of him and get up behind Jake Dennis, because that's the strategy of it. We saw last year, attack mode became it really became a big strategy point in the races. I mean, look, this is on board Stoffel Van Dorn, our leader, looking back on his Mercedes EQ teammate Nick De Vries, and Jake Dennis is right there.
2 attack mode usages in this race, both 3 minutes long.
Attack mode this lap, attack mode this lap.
And that is the message to Nick De Vries, telling him to take attack mode then. They're trying to defend, I guess, from the sort of almost undercut from Lotterer. Now that Lotterer's got clear air and can go a bit quicker, they're worried that when De Vries takes attack mode, he might come out behind Andre Lotterer. Here he goes, he'll keep to the right-hand side. Dennis follows him through as well, and they both stay ahead of Andre Lotterer for the time being. So Van Dorn out in front, De Vries 2nd, Dennis 3rd, Lotterer 4th. But you can see De Vries, Dennis and Lotterer are in attack mode. Van Dorn sets the fastest lap of the race. 37 minutes plus 1 lap to go.
If you're Stoffel Van Dorn, you're going to push like crazy just now, and I would say try and take the attack mode this next lap, because you don't want your teammate Nick De Vries and Jake Dennis behind you to gain an advantage on. You've got to go this lap so they don't get ahead of you in the running order.
There you can see the attack mode rules. 30 kilowatts of extra power for 3 minutes in this race.
And this year the cars have a race power of 220 kilowatts, with a 10% increase on last year, so that puts a lot more pressure on the brakes and the tyres.
Push to attack mode this lap, push to attack mode this lap.
Van Dorn now being told by Stephen Lane, his race engineer, that he is going to take attack mode this lap. And he should, you would have thought, come out in front of those chasing him. Here he comes into the right-hander now, swings over to the right-hand side, activates attack mode, and emerges, I think, still in the lead. Yes, so Van Dorn's still ahead. De Vries 2nd, Dennis 3rd, Lotterer 4th. But Lotterer's joined the pack a little more, hasn't he?
Yeah, Lotterer's definitely joined the battle here, Jack. That was a big moment in the race for Stoffel Van Dorn to stay ahead of his teammate Nick De Vries. There's 3 sensors in the attack mode activation zone. You just cross all 3. You miss one of them, you've got to go and do it again. You cost yourself all that time going offline.
Oliver Rowland is in attack mode. He's trying to get ahead of Robin Fright. They're in 9th and 10th positions. There they come, down the hill. The green Envision is just ahead, and Roland is just about to run out of attack mode. You can see him counting down the last 5 seconds of this, and now he's not going to be able to get ahead of Robin Freitz just using the extra power. There's the race leader, Stoffel Vandoorne. De Vries second, Dennis third, fourth is Lotterer, fifth is De Grassi, sixth is Bird, seventh is Gunter, and we're back with our leaders as they climb the hill once more.
We had a yellow turn 18, but the yellow's gone in, so battle can prevent those bumpy breakings over turn 18, but the car's probably too far apart this lap for anything to happen. You can see Nick De Vries closing up on his teammate under braking.
Roland did get past Robin Freitz, so he's now up in the 9th position. The Mahindra, who was so quick in qualifying, although now Roland is dropping down the order and it's all kicking off, coming into the chicane here, and Eduardo Mortara is suddenly ahead of Robin Freitz, and Sims is at the back of this pack, and we might have lost Oliver Roland from this fight. The other Mahindra appears to have gone missing. Big slide from Freitz. He's now getting overtaken by Jean-Eric Verne, and that's Mortara around the outside, attempts to go Pascal Wehrlein. Mortara in the black Venturi. Mortara was trying to defend. Verne is now up into 12th position, and De Vries is out of his attack mode. Dennis is out of his attack mode as well. The yellow flag is at the final corner, so I think Roland has stopped on the exit of the final corner.
16 and 17, so the corner before the straight jab.
Yeah.
So 16 and 17, yeah, and that's an easy place to make a mistake. Safety car, so there must be a lot of debris.
Safety car deployed. The first safety car of the season. And coming through the final corner onto the main straight. And now it's not terrible news for Stoffel Vandoorne because he didn't have a huge advantage anyway. Here's what happened then with Roland. Oh, he and Robin Freitz side by side into 15. All out of shape, but then Roland's obviously trying to get it stopped on the dirty stuff. And there he is, backwards in the barrier on the exit of 16.
He already had some damage to the front of the car, so had they had an earlier argument, shall we say, very, very dusty offline, and in that area, you can see the drifty part of the track, very low grip in that section.
There is Stoffel Vandoorne, race leader. Second is Nick De Vries in the other Mercedes EQ. Oliver Roland has said on the radio that he is okay, but you have to wait in the car until you're given clearance to get out of the car at the moment. So Vandoorne in the wall, De Vries is second, Dennis is third, Lotterer is fourth. That's Lucas Di Grassi in 5th place in the Rocket Venturi. He's just ahead of the Jaguar of Sam Bird, and there's the new Porsche Taycan Turbo S safety car, the most powerful safety car in motorsport. Absolute